See.
Okay.
The recording has started.
Welcome to the board and welcome to our video viewers as well. This is your Cypress Woods RV Resort Board of Directors meeting for Tuesday, June 9th, 2020. And as you know, we are on video and we would be accepting any inquiries from our owners. But we have a very short agenda today, just some business that's got to be tied up. Before we get started, let's go ahead and silence all of our cell phones, board, if you haven't already. And we're going to do a quick roll call for our video audience. So, Barb Birch.
Here.
John Genovese.
Here.
Joe Regenstein. Absent. Dwayne Truitt. Absent. Gary Washburn.
Here.
And Pat Zollo.
Yeah.
So we do have a quorum.
We're going to do a quick roll call for
Go ahead.
our video.
I'm
Hold on,
getting
let me see who-
feedback. Somebody,
I keep getting feedback, David.
Hold on.
I keep hearing Deb say the same message, only delayed.
It's fixed. It was
Yeah,
Pat.
somebody has.
It was Pat. I muted
There we
him.
go.
Pat, you're muted. You have to
Okay.
unmute yourself to talk.
all righty. We'll go ahead and quickly start off with our financials. I'll do a quick overview. This is all year to date through May 31st. On the revenue portion, we're at $625,400 to a plan of $607,800, meaning we have increased in revenue of $17,600. On our year-to-date expenses through May 31st, $483,900 to a plan of $530,420. We are under our expense budget by $46,600. It's a net income year-to-date of $141,500. Solidly in the black. Under our checking accounts, we have two checking accounts with a balance of $440,100. Our reserve totals are $116,000. So again, we have our cash on hand and our net income solidly in the black. David, can you give us an update on our much delayed financial audit for 2019?
Well, I don't know how much it's delayed. This is the same office is working on a bunch. There is no news. He is still working on it, and he appears to have everything he needs from me at this point, since he has full access to the FirstService accounting system. So, last I heard, we're on track, and he'll let me know when he needs something else. I'll try and get a follow-up for an estimated target date from him. But he's
That would
working
be great.
on 3 of them at the same time.
Thank you so much. Okay, and under our agenda staff, David, you have an update on our temporary maintenance help?
We did discontinue the use of Tommy. We've slowed down enough. All the big projects are done. Chris has everything under control at this point. Now we're doing work orders generated by the PM inspections and doing a little bit of work up at the town center. So we don't need him anytime soon, and we'll have some significant savings. Mel is still part-time. Tommy is now gone, so the salary line item should start to see some savings over the next few weeks.
Okay, good call, good call. Under our next agenda item, governing, this is a repeat, but it's official. Under the 2 vacant lots on the intersection of ACD, lots D is in dog 85 and lots D 86. We have since received the warranty deed information for D85, so it will soon be recorded in the name of the Cypress Woods HOA. We did process a check for the 3 years of delinquent back taxes that we assumed in trade out for the lot, and the adjacent lot D86, the expiration date on the owner to respond is June 15th. So what are we, just a week away from knowing what direction we'll be taking on that? So we're the proud new owners of D85. Committee oversight, Dwayne isn't on right now with an E-section update. Pat, do you have anything you wanted at this point to interject with any E-section updates?
No, just that he thinks things are starting to move, and he's still expecting to have lots done by December. That was the last conversation we had. So
Okay.
there, the issues with the zoning and having the public hearings has been holding them up, but they have gotten permits, so there looks like they're going to be moving dirt and getting some of the infrastructure in.
Okay, good for them, because I know this has to be pretty frustrating with the corona delay on this. Okay, now we're going to move on. For our owners to be updated, I'll give a brief background. There is a nationally recognized and known marketing company by the name of Bow Stern Marketing that has been employed by Laguna Caribe Phase 5 developers. We asked them to give a presentation to your HOA board to see if they could assist in helping create a new logo and a brand for Cypress Woods to refresh our image. And they did a presentation and followed up with a bid to complete the work that we have requested. And with that, is there any more board discussion on this topic before we just take a vote to accept or reject their bid?
I have some discussion if nobody else does. Does somebody else have something?
No, I was just going to add my 2 cents on it, but go ahead.
Okay. We have discussed a new logo for Cypress Woods for a long time. In 2018, around then, we agreed to having Diane Leffler, our social director, design a contest to have the owners submit their ideas of what Cypress Woods logo should look like. On October the 9th, the board was told, I believe by you, Deb, in the email, that Diane reported 6 logo entries and that you reported that 2 of them were spectacular. And I'm not sure which board members saw the logos, but I've never seen them, never seen any of them.
Mm-hmm.
And then the subject wasn't brought up again until now we're being asked to hire a marketing company for $3,900 to design a logo and rebrand our logo. We don't have a rental program at Cypress Woods to promote as of yet in Cypress Woods. We have Alliance Realty Company, which is made up of 3 Cypress Woods owners that live in the park, in the community, and they've been working hard to promote resales, which is all we have in Cypress Woods is resales. They've attended RV shows since 2016 when they came on board. They have been doing a lot of marketing and advertising in all of the listings for real estate, Zillow, Trilla, Redfin, Realtor.com, and all the multiple listing books. They started working on marketing our lots, as I said, in 2016, when the average lot price was $75,500, and then in May of 2019, the average lots were $97,200. That's an increase of 29% in our lot prices in 3.5 years since they started doing the marketing. And in 2018, they sold 60 lots on resale. In 2019, so far, they sold 40. I don't know what they've sold in 2020, but I just don't understand why we need a marketing team at this point for Cypress Woods.
I agree with Barb. I looking at the proposal that they put before us and some of the bullet points that this is supposedly supposed to help, It says allows consumers to measure the value of your offerings outside of the price alone. Well, I don't see us offering too much that way or sales, except for, the new developer. It says it provides an emotional and self-expressive benefit, creating loyalty and trust. Creates a focus in client service and marketing efforts. I just don't understand where that's going to help Cypress Woods as a whole. I mean, I can see where it would help, the Guanacarib, and I just don't feel that it's something that the membership of Cypress Woods now should pay for $4,000.
Everyone, Joe
Any
has
other
joined the chat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I live in the marketing world. That's where I work. And as you've already said, just the little bit of marketing that, the group that sells the lots has done has caused an increase in our properties. Anytime you brand something, which we are not a brand today, if you look around, our brand is a mess. There's just no doubt about it compared to an actual real brand. Take Hearthside, for example, up in Michigan. You look at their website, everything is about their brand. Their pictures on their website, the whole thing. You can clearly see that is an upscale place from their branding. Ours does not speak of that. You got to start somewhere with all of this. And that somewhere is getting a logo and a basic brand to help you get to that point. And so for me, I definitely think it's a good idea because I see every single day what marketing does for companies. And it all starts with the brand. And, like I said, you take a look at our logo, it's palm trees and a beach is kind of what it looks like, which does not say anything really about us. So that's
John, we're not John, we're not a company. We're not trying to sell everything and, be in the marketplace. I agree. The new section is, but why should we pay for, a marketing?
Doesn't every single owner want to see their property value go up when they do sell? I mean, you said, didn't we say we have 40 lots for sale or so right now? I would think all those folks would benefit from having a brand behind. And rentals, by the way. So yeah, I think it benefits the entire community.
Well, you're talking about a website which does not include in this. They're talking about business cards and a logo. And if you look at the logos on their proposal, not one of them jumped out at me as any kind of oh my God, I have to go here, or I have to see this, or I have to go to this place. I mean, in other words, this $3,900, if we're following what you're talking about, John, it's going to be seed money for further branding and expansion.
That's absolutely true.
It's a tip of the iceberg.
Yes,
and
it's the beginning.
Yeah. Okay.
And
iceberg.
By the way, it's just one step. You could stop after the one step. It would be my recommendation that we go with a website that is updated after.
Then why don't we get a website company to design our website?
I have a website company that does them for very inexpensive, and they specialize in community websites. But you need sort of the main.
You need a brand.
You need the brand to put into there. You need to give them an idea, not just they choose random colors and a couple images we send them. You need to get the feel to give them direction.
Well, I guess maybe I need to have a better understanding of what do you call the brand, David? Give me an example of a brand. Johnson and
Coca-Cola,
Johnson,
Pepsi,
Nike.
Coca-Cola, Pepsi,
Miramar
Gordon's
Lakes.
Milk.
Northside.
Yeah, what's that?
Grove?
The big community out there that everyone, the Babcock Ranch, Pelican Bay.
Yeah.
Those are
So-
brands.
Pelican
They're
Lake.
into a lifestyle.
River Landing,
Sure.
Tell me what.
65
tell me what-
lots.
Tell me what Pelican Bay looks like.
Well,
What's
I've
their
worked in
brand
Pelican
look
Bay,
like?
so I may be the wrong person to ask. But Pelican
Tell me
Bay
what
is
one of
known
those
all over
RV
Collier. I'm sorry?
Tell me what one of those RV places looks like. What does their brand look like?
Oh, so those are not the ones that I listed are not RV parks, but those are community
Barb.
brands.
Barb, I happen to know what Traverse looks like. I was an owner in Las Vegas Motor Coach. I can't tell you what their logo looks like now. It's past history for me. But we're talking about a cypress woods that have been around 20 years, and maybe it's time to give it a new image, and so forth. Where you go with the new image once you pick it, we tried, seeing if we had some artistic talent in house, and what came back was not really usable. So I don't think spending the $4,000 is an outrageous thing to get a brand that, if assuming we give them the right information, becomes useful. What we do with it afterwards is up to us.
Okay, Joe. For example, you said you don't remember what Traverse looks like now. I bet you remember what
No, I know what
Coca-Cola's
Traverse
logo
looks
is.
like. I know what Traverse looks like,
I got the floor.
but
Can
I haven't
say
been
the
in Las
finish of
Vegas
this
Motor
sentence?
Coach for 5 years.
Joe,
Go ahead.
when you're done talking, I'll finish my sentence.
Finish your sentence.
But I said, I'll bet you remember what Nike logo or brand looks like, or any of those that we just talked about. But the main thing is, what is something logo-wise or brand-wise different than even the palm trees? And I don't remember seeing what the palm tree looks like for Cypress Woods RV Resort. But if we had something that was a beautiful picture of the entrance, is that going to make a difference?
Okay, can
Possibly.
I interject now?
Go ahead.
I would like to say a few things for just a second. Creating a brand, the first step is to identify who we are. And the way that's done is that this marketing company would go to individual
Take that back and get one with
employees,
motor in it.
residents,
No, just say no.
and ask them, when they think of Cypress Woods, what is Cypress Woods? What's the culture? What's the life experience? Okay, that's what a brand is. After that step, then you have to create a visible
Get up there.
logo that people associate with that particular brand. A logo is just a small part of a brand, okay? We inherited a bad reputation. And as recently as when David came on board, and to this day, 7 years after we became self-governed, he still goes into companies that won't do business with us because Cypress Woods, no, we stay away from them with our experiences. Okay, we still have inherited that. Our park has turned residents by 70+% in the last 5 years. We don't have the same demographics that we did 5-7 years ago. The interest, the technology, the lifestyle has changed. It's, in my opinion, it's our time to start anew, start fresh, and professional. We have an opportunity to join and partner the developer that has a good vision of his phase 5. We have to work toward melding those two lifestyles and those two cultures in a very compatible way. Creating a brand will assist with that. And I'm going to echo what John Genevieve said. This is just step 1 of creating the brand. So yes, if we do this, and we're going to get a logo, and we're going to get the surveys from the owners and the employees and the residents on what their experience, their life experience is like here in Cypress Woods. I am in support of this, but I'm only one person and I don't vote unless there's a tie.
Well,
Does
Deb,
anyone else have comments? Yes.
I'd like to comment on some of the things that you said. I don't
Okay.
know that we have not gotten out of our oh no, I can't deal with Cypress Woods that you're talking about, because for the last almost 7 years, we have, since 2013 and we took over, we worked very hard to get out of the fact that we have to pay cash because our credit record is not good. We don't have that anymore, so I disagree with that. And
Well, you'll have to talk to David about that because he's the one who deals with the vendors when he's getting bids and they don't want to deal with us.
I understand
I'm
that.
not- Okay.
And it's not the first time that David said that. He said that when we had the meeting with Bo Stern in the first place. And I still don't agree with it. And secondly, when you're talking about working with Section E to meld together and create, are you talking about changing our name?
No, I'm not talking about changing the name. I'm sorry. I'm saying it's time to create a brand. It might be part of the equation. Absolutely, it might be. I don't know what's going to be the outcome of surveying our community members.
So for $3,900 right now at this point, we're going to get a new logo for Cypress Woods.
We will also get a brand standards guide that has been put together through these surveys. And they're talking about 3 to 4 different sessions with different groups of people, discovery sessions. Okay. They'll conduct an environmental scan of the industry segment. And then they'll present the brand development plan to us as well as a guideline to develop this long-term brand. It's some research as well as developing the graphic design.
Well, go back to the contest for our new logo, because we've known for a long time we needed a new logo. Sorry, but I feel this way, Deb, and I have to say it. Where are the logos that were designed by our park? I have never seen them. Tell me somebody
Diane
else.
Leffler has them.
I'm not
Diane
finished.
Leffler.
Tell me somebody that's seen them on the board besides you and Joe.
I was not shown them, Barb. I was told they were not going to publish them. They were that bad.
Not all of. I
don't
think a
even know
couple
who
of them
that.
were pretty good, from what I understand. They just needed to be, given to an actual graphic designer and turned into a logo. The basic idea I think was good, but Diane Leffler does have those, and I can ask her. I don't know if she has them on her computer, if they're in her office, but I can get them and send them out. But all of that was put on hold. I think 6 months ago when there was initial talks of E-Section coming online, we said, well, let's hold off and see how E-Section goes before deciding on anything. So instead of going through the whole process, they stopped until we kind of figured out what Dwayne and his crew had in mind for
Diane
that. 'Cause we
Leffler
want to be
told
together.
David, Diane Leffler told me that she was really too embarrassed to show them, so I did not see them. I
Okay.
didn't push it, and then yes, he was coming online.
Well, I am just going to go back to what I said in the email from you, Deb, on October the 9th said to Joe Regenstein, Judy Lawrence, Emily Campos, Randy Payne, Barbara Burge, and one more. I don't remember who else the board member was, but it says, Diane reports 6 logo entries and 2 are spectacular. Yay. And Emily wrote back, when do we get to see them? That was the end of conversation.
Okay, so
about
Barb, let me ask you, what point are you trying to make here? That happened 6 months ago.
The point that I'm trying to make is that we are capable of getting a logo suitable for our park, and also capable of getting a website updated by a professional website designer for a whole lot less than starting out with just a logo for $3,900. That's the point I'm trying to make.
That's not
Barb,
just what we're getting.
may I? Yeah, thank you. Okay, you're going there. A logo is one part of a brand, just one. There's many, many, many things that make up a brand. Colors. There's fonts that you use when you communicate so that things look consistent. There's letterhead, business cards, all those things that go along with
John,
it.
I understand that.
It's way more than a brand, but you're talking about a logo. We can get a logo. Okay, so take one of those logos. If one of them's pretty good, send it to them and let them work from that. But a brand is not just a logo. It's not just a website. It's a whole pile of things. The shirts that the people wear in here so that it looks like a professional kind of a place. I mean, all of that. That's 5-star stuff. We can be 3-star forever. That's easy. 3-star is real easy.
I mean, we did get rid of the squirrels. Just call a question.
Yeah.
This is Dwayne. I came in late. I'm sorry. I was held up by traffic a little. I'd like to interject one thing. Part of what Deb was describing that the consultant has offered to do is something that wasn't part of whatever the logo contest was, and I wasn't part of that logo contest. But in a logo contest, you say, okay, people come up and draw something and submit it, and we'll judge it. That's not the same thing as going in and conducting really intensive Q&A sessions and discovery sessions where you find out, what do you really like about this part? What makes us special? What makes us different? Why would you want to come here as opposed to any other part? You don't get any of that when somebody just, puts a really nice picture together. That's a different thing. And it's equivalent to, as the old saying goes, putting the cart before the horse. What we want to do is we want to put the horse in front of the cart, figure out who we are. From that, then we can then solicit logo designs from people who do this for a living, and it will not need to be reconverted into something else. I mean, in other words, we the people would direct the process as opposed to who's the best artist in the park.
Well said.
Dwayne, well, I'd just like to go back to when Cypress Woods first began, and that was about 1995. But all of the things that you're talking about and the marketing company is talking about is the same things that developer did to get us where we are today.
I don't agree with you, Deb. I mean, Barb. I don't know what Avi did. I know what Avi did, but I think over the 7 years that this board has been run by the park, we've done a hell of a lot more to improve what Cypress Woods is than Avi ever did.
Well, I'm not giving any. Are you done? I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I'm not giving any praise and kudos to Avi because Avi was not the actual on-site developer person that did all this marketing. But I tell you, there are a lot of people that are still in Cypress Woods RV Resort that worked with Avi and the marketing group with him to go to RV shows. We volunteered to do all of the things that advertised Cypress Woods when it was just A, B, and the beginning of C. That's where I came in. And yes, they did a lot of marketing. They did a lot of money spent on trade shows, RV shows. Kathy Orris was and her husband were one of the big volunteers. We all did that. Yes, it did go back to where they did all of this sort of thing to get Cypress Woods, at least for the 471 lots, where they are today.
Yeah, can I say something?
Please.
Gary?
Go ahead.
My feeling is on this, that Laguna-Caribe is going to benefit from this a lot more than the park the way it is now. All our stuff is sold and what have you. I'd like to ask Dwayne if he feels that maybe Laguna-Caribe could kick into this, part of this $3,900 if we vote that it does, we accept that.
Put me on the spot, will you? Well, let me respond to a couple things there, Gary. I appreciate your input, and I know that probably a lot of people think that. We have our brand that we've developed for Laguna-Caribe based upon a process that's identical to what Bow Stern, proposed for Cypress Woods. It was a little bit easier for us because instead of 471 lot owners and a board of directors, it was just 3 guys. And even we had disagreements between the 3 of us. I mean, okay, I want this. No, I want that. No, yeah. So, I mean, we went through some of that, but, it took us probably a month to kind of settle on what we ended up with is what we now have as our brand and our logo. We think it looks pretty good, and, we're pretty proud of it. We haven't really done much with it yet because our marketing process got waylaid by COVID for the last several months, and we're now sort of reawakening that process. So you're going to see a lot more of it going forward. But it doesn't benefit Laguna-Caribe at all if Cypress Woods sticks with exactly the logo that you have today. Really, it doesn't. Because Cypress Woods is a great park today. We wouldn't have bought the property in Section E if we didn't think that. And what we're doing is we're building upon Cypress Woods and saying, okay, this Cypress Woods is great. Now we're adding something new to it. I mean, think of this like Disney World. I mean, Disney World didn't stop with Magic Kingdom. They kept adding on and adding on new parks and new attractions and so forth. And, they were still who they were, but they added on to it. So we're an add-on. What our feeling was is when we first heard about the resort's interest in possibly changing the branding, is we thought, this is great. This means that the people in Cypress Woods, the owners, the residents, take pride and want to build on what they've already got. And we thought that was a very positive sign because, we want people to be proud of all of Cypress Woods, of which will be just one part. So, does it benefit us if the park takes great pride and great interest in how they present to the rest of the world? Yes, but it also benefits everybody in this resort. And yeah, the lots were sold decades ago. But, I mean, nobody's going to hold on to their lot forever. I mean, pretty they say you can't take it with you. I mean, maybe your heirs will be the ones to deal with disposing of your lot someday. But, even if you don't wait that long and you decide to put it up for sale next month, if the perception in the market is that Cypress Woods is a higher value property, that benefits you immediately. If you rent your lot, it benefits you immediately. And furthermore, if just for the enjoyment of your lot, if you take greater pride because, hey, we as a community contributed to something that makes us all feel better about ourselves, I mean, who doesn't benefit from that? So that's my only thought. If this board chooses to not do this, we're okay. We're not going to lose any sleep over it, but we were pretty happy to hear that there was interest in this. that's the last I want to say on that.
So we've been in the discussion for 30 minutes now, and do we have any more parting remarks or comments before we put this to a vote? Okay. I will need a motion to accept the Bow Stern Marketing bid for $3,900 as stated in their proposal.
I'll make that motion.
I will make that motion.
I will second that motion.
Okay, we will now take a vote, and we'll do it by roll call. Barb Burge,
No?
John Genovese,
Yes.
Joe Regenstein,
Yes.
Dwayne Truitt,
Yes.
Gary Washburn,
Oh, hold on. Gary's muted because he was getting feedback. That's my fault. Gary, you're back on.
No.
Thank you.
and Pat Zollo.
No.
Okay, so we have a tie. 3 for yes accepting and 3 for no accepting. As our documents state, the president votes to break a tie. I vote for yes. We will accept the $3,900 bid with Bow Stern and notify them of the acceptance. Moving on the agenda now, we are to maintenance.
Can I have one question before you go on, Deb?
Please.
Where's the $3,900 coming out of?
I just did the financial report for you, Barb.
What GL code is it going out of?
I'll have to study that, but we have the funds available. Okay. Moving on now to maintenance. Town center interior painting. It hasn't been painted in several years. We've had some damaged walls. We have a couple residents who have volunteered their time and effort and energies into refreshing the paint at the town center. Colors are being put together. They'll be presented to the 5-star committee. Once they have a recommendation, it will be presented to the board. Cost to accompany that. Dave, you want to on
Can I ask
self-testing?
a question?
Oh, I'm so sorry. Please.
That's okay. I don't know how long this branding thing is going to take. If it's a short order thing, might it be worth waiting for color recommendations for the brand so that we can kind of start matching things up? And I don't know the answer to that. I'm simply posing a question, by the way.
The
Good question.
proposal
I mean-
says 6 to 8 weeks.
So 8 weeks puts us in August, late August, early September. Still before the season. Still before the season. I mean, I don't know. It's just a thought. It seems like if that's the direction we're heading, is to get a brand, then it makes sense to match the brand with color.
And I don't disagree with you on that. So why don't I work with the ladies who are going out collecting, the swatches and samples, communicate that to the 5-star committee, and then see if they can come up with some recommendations that could even be presented to Bow Stern as well.
Makes sense. Yep.
Okay. I'd be happy to. Okay, so David, moving on the agenda now, the suggestion to us doing our own self-testing of well and lake chloride levels. If you can briefly explain that and the action that we're taking toward that.
Yeah, the Barb did some research and contacted South Florida Water Management District due to the rising costs over the years in our chloride testing. And Barb actually discovered that we don't have to pay a laboratory to do the chloride testing that we've used for however many years. I think Barb had numbers back to 2015 or 16, so it's been a few years, possibly longer. So we can order test strips I'm still working with the ones that I thought would work for us. Scott Korf from South Florida Water Management District said no, not those strips. Barb, there was an email I sent. It was a follow-up to your email to Scott, or back and forth with Scott, where you said he recommends a strip below. There was no link in that email, at least by the time it was forwarded to me. So I've asked him to send me what his thoughts were. But the one that I found, which they're all pretty inexpensive, $50 or less. We just need to make sure we get the right one. As soon as we get those, and we can have them overnighted. Amazon sells all of them, and we can buy a year's supply, have them shipped in 48 hours. We just have to make sure they're the correct ones. But since Scott hasn't given me an update on that, do you happen to have the email that he recommended a certain brand of strip?
I do, and I'll get it to you, David, but I don't know if you realize that our guidelines also say local testing has to be done every month, but you only have to submit it quarterly to Southwest or to South Florida.
Okay, and Scott Korf said that as well? Because okay,
yeah, that's what he said. I'll re-verify that with him, but yes, that's what the guidelines say. But David, I'll get it and I'll get it and send it to you.
David, I checked with our consultant who's handling all of our irrigation water permitting with South Florida, and she said, yeah, it's a great idea. You don't need to hire a laboratory or a sampling outfit to come in. Doing it yourself is great. She did recommend the Hatch, H-A-C-H, test strips, and I'll find the email she sent to me and I'll forward it on to you. But it's probably the same recommendation the other fellow made.
That's exactly what it is.
That's the company. It's HACH. But the ones that I sent him weren't the right one. He said titrators for chloride, catalog number, and he gave me two different catalog numbers to get. So again, I can get those, and we'll have them for our next month.
Okay.
Thank you so much. That'll be a nice. I think we were paying out $3,800 a year, if I'm not mistaken. We're halfway through the year, so we'll have a nice savings on that aspect.
Hey, I think we just found that Bow Stern money.
Yeah, probably so. The next item on the agenda, finally, after several months, our beautiful new picnic tables have been received, assembled, and put in place. And I understand, David, you can give some of the feedback on that, as well as our new Town Center pool loungers have been totally refurbished with the coatings as well as the strapping. They came in teal. So what's the feedback?
People who have seen the tables love the picnic tables. They're bright and rugged. They have the nice rubberized coating on them. There's not a whole lot of people here, and they've only been up for a week at this point. But so far, so good. People seem to like them. The pool lounger chairs that were delivered, only a handful of people have seen those because we don't have them out yet because we haven't voted to put them back out. But the people who were there when they were delivered all, took a sneak peek, and nothing but positive feedback. I think they look great. They put such a thick layer of powder coating on there. They're much more durable than the old sprayed ones that we had. So I think they turned out really, really nice.
David, along the same line, and we don't have it on the list, but not being there, are our fountains all back on now?
Yes.
Thank you.
Oh, and the lakes are full. For all of you who are not here, the fountains are on because the lakes are all the way to the top, basically.
Great.
And irrigation is off, correct?
Irrigation is off, yeah. We still have standing water in a lot of areas, and it's rained every day, so we have it kind of on standby. Chris can run them if we get a day or two in a row without rain, but right now we're just flooding things out. If we put any more water on it, it would be a waste.
Okay, no
Absolutely.
problem. Finally, go ahead.
I just told David that's a good idea.
I thought I heard.
Deb,
Yes.
hello?
Yeah, we hear you.
Pam Nelson put a message up about when the lounge chairs are going to be made available for the pools.
I think that will be up to the board and David to decide. From what David has told me, that there's really no complaints about the owners bringing their own chairs at this time. Have we had any other feedback?
I'm only seeing one question here.
Right, I see Pam Nelson's question as well. No one has really said. I mean, a few people have asked when it'll be there. You know, some people don't like loading up their chairs to bring them down, but it hasn't been, you know, a hot topic on anyone's radar. And a lot of people have said, yeah, good, leave them away until storm season's over, because then there's less to put away for our higher than active storm season this year. So,
Or fly around in the wind.
Right. Well, you know, there's 50 of them that we have to put away.
David, are we still cleaning them for COVID every so often?
Cleaning
if
what?
We put them out? The loungers?
Well, they're not out right now.
Cleaning?
They're all locked away in the lockdown center. So people bring their own chairs, and there are still sanitation stations for them to clean off their own furniture.
What I'm saying is, if we bring our lounges out, we're going to have to clean them, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess the board doesn't have any problem with not bringing them out yet. It sounds like the consensus, so. All righty, and then lastly on the maintenance agenda, has B&I started their replacement? I think it was $2,400 of those parts that they recommended at the last meeting.
No, they haven't done any of the replacements yet. It's all outdoor work, and it's rained every day, so I think they're a little behind. It's not an emergency that has to be done in the rain, but Rick told me he was trying to get them out last week, get them on the schedule, and then because of the rain, he just said, we'll hold off and we'll come when it's dry. So it's all outdoor work, so they may have snuck in and not signed in with me, and you know, it could be done, but I don't think that'll be the case. Rick said he'll follow up with me and let me know when they're coming.
Okay, excellent. So that concludes our established agenda. Do we have any new business? Okay. Any other comments from the field out there, gentlemen, that we see, David or Pat?
I'm sorry, what was that again?
I was just seeing if there was any more comments from the owners. Questions.
No, that was the only one I saw here.
Okay. All righty. So we do need a motion to adjourn, please.
So
So
moved.
moved. Second.
I
Right.
beat you, Gary. I beat you.
Okay.
I'm
Everyone.
further away.
He is too. Okay, we thank everyone for viewing your HOA meeting today. Be safe, be well, and we'll probably have a meeting next week as well. Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.